This is not the Church of Emmanuel, Christ, of Latter-day Saints, of Joseph Smith. This is the Church of Jesus Christ.
So plain and precious. Finally, the Book of Mormon is the keystone of
Emmanuel.
Just as the arch crumbles if the keystone is removed, so does all the church fall with the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon. The enemies of the church understand this clearly.
One of our brethren some years ago spoke of the payment of tithing as fire insurance. Nonetheless, the word of the Lord is clear that those who do not keep the commandments and observe the laws of God shall be burned at the time of his coming. For that shall be a day of judgment, a day of sifting, a day of separating the good from the evil. I would venture a personal opinion that no event has occurred in all the history of the earth as dreadful as will be the day of the second coming, as fraught with the destructive forces of nature, as consequential for the nations of the earth, as terrible for the wicked, and as wonderful for the righteous.
Among the most common sexual sins, pregnancy and abortion, all ugly sins, but in and of themselves, they're pernicious evils.
Anyway, enjoy the pie.
Travis, my good soul. We'll do a Jewish Mormonism 101 video for the playlist to work on the trial of faith comments. I'll 8 minutes left on that. And then laundry in the background, chaos and pandemonium, dogs and cats living together, and a haunted mansion burned. Who you gonna call? Here in Utah. I believe it was Murray, I saw on the news. So, North Korea is upset with their boys because they got caught watching South Korean K-pop. Those cute little South Korean girls. And so they were banned from watching South Korean K-pop. And now, after that, the North Korean government are now stopping economic ties with South Korea. Oh, those South Korean girls causing trouble. And so, another thing I noticed in the news, Putin. Remember when he locked up his first challenger? Well, he's now done it again. The second challenger has now been banned from running in the Russian election. Putin. It's all free and fair elections, and Tucker Carlson will report on all of it. Or has he already? If he has, I haven't seen the YouTube video yet. Everybody's all giving their opinions about it. You do know that Tucker Carlson is a Russian spy, right? To destroy America? Oh, they didn't teach you that in QAnon 101? He's the reincarnation of Maria Butina. I can play the game too. And so, here in Utah, we, as a state in the United States of America, already have the First Amendment, which guarantees religious freedom. But nonetheless, Utah has created, previous year, a non-discriminatory laws that if people violate such laws for discriminatory category groups, and they even included the police, that it's going to be a felony charge. It's escalated. And so, yeah, religion. You commit a crime against religion, it becomes a felony charge in the state of Utah. And so, apparently, the church is feeling insecure, and I noticed from the stats an anomaly of low views and that one person not doing a thumbs down on every single video today, as they just entered into their meeting on Thursdays. Leadership of the church. Interesting. It's things like this that make me go, uh-huh. I already know your church schedule. And I know that you don't work. Because thumbs down pop up during the day, during weekdays. So yeah, there's now a bill in the Utah legislature to add extra religious freedom, and we all know which church that's for in the state of Utah. Not gonna fool anybody here. Or maybe you will. And so, I do my videos to warn Mormons about the dangers of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And Mormons are in denialism. They have bonded with their captor, has Stockholm Syndrome, and an abusive spouse, and are maintaining lies and perpetuating those lies. And so it's a relief to see somebody like Child Faith recognize that the church is inconsistent with the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. And fortunately, for them, I don't know their sex yet, they are coming to me before anybody else. Because the Zoramites left Zarahemla and were a part of their own separate kingdom. And so you got to build up a civilization. And so they've got to have farmers for food, you got to have people making clothes, and then you also have to have builders, and so forth. And after building all the buildings, the builders were unemployed. And this ain't in Greenland. And they were now all of a sudden poor because they're unemployed. They had no money to pay for food or clothing or a place that they themselves had built. And so they got kicked out of their community, no longer allowed to worship their God at the Ramiyumptum of the synagogue. And they came across an anti-Mormon, antichrist Korahor, Alma, who was able to teach them you don't need church to have faith in God and follow the scientific processes with logical Socratic methodology. Alma 32:28. And so, because they were compelled to be humble, they were now open for anybody who would lead them and guide them. And so Alma, in the story, is the best approach for such people in such conditions to be properly educated and not led astray by an antichrist or a Korahor. That's why the contrasting is there in the Book of Mormon for you. And nonetheless, Abgan 100 is watching my desperate need to educate Mormons. It's been 2 days, and yes, I checked last night and I went, I'm willing to bet that's going to be the newest breakout video. And sure enough, today it is, because it's been 2 days. Patterns of YouTube's algorithms for my channel, whereas other people who are critics and thus would be equal with my videos get thousands of views in the first day. They don't have to wait 2 days for people to come flocking to their videos. So yeah, there's an unequal treatment on YouTube. See, obviously I can't compete with Taylor Swift's channel if she has one. It's not an equal genre. But again, YouTube is in trouble for their algorithms, as all social media is. And so I notice these things. I notice that the person who puts a thumbs down is retired and does not have to go to work during the week. But there is a separate entity attacking me through YouTube who does follow a 5-day work pattern with 2 days off, and those 2 days are when I get my boost in views. You guys make it too easy to be exposed for who's doing this, because it's not YouTube. YouTube doesn't care about the church. It has to be a Mormon employee for YouTube. And so yes, these are cyber terrorist attacks by Mormons, thinking they're protecting the church, giving church religious freedom to deny religious freedom to others. And I promote Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon in the learning of the Jews. And Mormons will not give me my religious freedom. Abgan 100, for example. He comes to the desperate need to educate Mormons. And so yes, I'm very well aware of this one because of the picture as the thumbnail. When I first put it up, yeah, it triggered white supremacists who came with full rage. How dare you! Wouldn't it be interesting if they learned that the Book of Mormon says it's in the learning of the Jews? Maybe they'd be the ones coming on April 2024, 2 more months to the day, to fulfill Joseph Smith's prophecy, rather than Islam. But maybe it's Islam too. Maybe it's everybody. Maybe everybody will be turned against the Mormons because they're secretly Jewish, pretending to be Christian. And so he's hating me. This is what I've had to deal with. I'm trying to warn you. It's blatantly obvious that the Book of Mormon is in the learning of the Jews because it says it is. And yet, I'm the one who gets attacked. So listen to this. He came back just prior to doing this video. He's still watching the same video. He won't leave me alone. 2 thick, full, combined sentence paragraphs of him attacking me for the learning of the Jews. Did he even bother to read the thumbnail? It's a meme. So listen to what I've had to deal with for years by this enemy church demanding religious freedom over others. I'm going to put a K-pop song in the description below in case you didn't know. They're so cute. Orange Caramel is my favorite of them all because they do official videos where they do whole costume stuff and they're awesome. It's cool. I wish I was a North Korean boy. He says, this is truly sad. He's watching the video that had the thumbnail of the Jewish flag, Israeli flag, Star of David, with a, we assume, because it's the Jewish flag in the background, a Jewish mother with her Jewish daughter. And I put the Bible passage talked about in the Book of Mormon in 2 Nephi. A Bible, a Bible. We have a Bible. Okay? What thank ye the Jews for the Bible. And what's in the Bible? Just the Old Testament, right? This is truly sad. An hour-long rambling rant, really? Displaying your hatred. He knows nothing of the beam and mote. I keep wanting to redo the beam and mote for you. I don't know how many times I've done it over the years. He is hating the Jewish religion of Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon, and thus me. He's a white supremacist, anti-Semite, as a Mormon. Hatred for religion, he uses religion generally, all directed at the LDS Church. Oops. Jesus is angry with you, Abgan 100. Shame on you. Jesus is offended with Joseph's acronym for Joseph's name of Joseph's church. LDS Church is short for Latter-day Saint Church. That was the name of Joseph's church since 1834, when Sidney Rigdon raised his hand and says, I propose a name change for the church to the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Joseph Smith then said, in the Joseph Smith papers in the minutes, all in favor? Unanimous. And thus was the name of Joseph's church until Joseph was assassinated. And so, wait a minute, there's parts of Scripture that says that it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Well, you never bothered to look at the Joseph Smith papers, did you? Willard Richards is making the change, along with other Danites of Brigham Young's 12. They have no authority to change the name of the church. What are they doing? Mormons will not study to know the truth. They are weapons of the church because of their feelings and mobocracy. While attempting to tie Trump into the LDS Church. Yeah, he's Zedekiah in the first year of the reign of King Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was Babylon. Babylon put him on the throne. Because it's not literal history. This is what he's not comprehending. It's learning of the Jews. It is not Christian. It is not literal history. It is not Jesus. And so therefore it is not Zedekiah. It is not Lehi. It is not Nephi. It is not Laman. It is not Lemuel. It is not the Jews. It's not the Jerusalem temple. It's the learning of the Jews. It's a prophecy, prediction for the future. All of the characters are types and shadows of the future characters. And since 2017 has already come and gone from Revelation chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 5, we now know who Zedekiah is. We know who Herod is. We know who Pharaoh is. We know the beast. and the number of the beast on your foreheads with the baseball cap of MAGA. Because we are in it. The learning of the Jews, Christians. See, the church isn't going to just destroy Mormons. They're going to destroy the whole world of religion. So that all will follow Lucifer. Albert Pike, letter to Giuseppe Mazzini. And so Trump is not LDS. No duh. But he went shopping for the first time in his life at the Welfare Square, Bishop's Storehouse. Did you remember that? You're still using LDS. The U.S. is a two-party system. Yeah, it's unconstitutional. Did you know that? Both parties are unconstitutional and thus illegal. Thomas Jefferson was the first one to introduce party government and set America on its path to destruction. Isn't that great? The founding father sabotaged his own work. So it's either choose Trump or choose the socialist Democrats. Why didn't you put deep state Dems? And what about the progressives who are seeking to overthrow the deep state Dems? Apparently you're clueless about politics even. And it's not really socialist if it's a party group. Because if it's a socialist republic, which is party group, it's communism. Socialism is a completely different form of government. And to attach it to Democrats means it's communism and not... God. See, people who hate are stupid. Ignorance leads to hate. Hate leads to violence. And so apparently the deep state Dems, which includes the progressives, hate religion and freedom of speech. Well, progressives are Islam. They clearly don't hate religion. And freedom of speech? They're all for freedom of speech. Just stupid. But Trump, yeah, you don't get freedom of speech under Trump. He doesn't seem to understand that. Because all the lies from QAnon and AON and Fox News and Newsmax and Tucker, who's now unemployed. I bet he doesn't even know that Rupert Murdoch is no longer in charge of Fox. Because you don't have the freedom of speech to lie in the press. And actively attempt to eliminate those rights in our Constitution, like the rights that the Supreme Court of the United States put in by Trump, aka the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints through the Council for National Policy, took away, right? 14th Amendment, Section 1, Roe v. Wade. They committed an act of seditious conspiracy against the United States of America by turning a fetus into a human-born being to deny women who are already human-born beings their rights. And nobody is talking about it on either side. This guy is stupid. The LDS Church is Christian. Yep, anti-Semitic. He saw the thumbnail. He knows that it's Jewish. He knows the passage of the Book of Mormon. He chose not to look it up. In that we believe in Christ. No, you believe in Jesus of Constantine, but you now call him non-Trinitarian because that's what the prophets tell you. It's the same Christ as Constantine, but it's a different nature and character. Bible is still literal history, just like Constantine said it is. It's still Christian rather than Jewish. Anti-Semitism. The LDS Church has no paid clergy. Really? So you missed Nelson when he said, "Thank you for making me richer." And you have no clue what that means? You've never read section 119 of your Doctrine and Covenants. God. No member is getting rich in the LDS Church. Not a single member of the church has ever become a millionaire off of the money collected in tithing, except for the one apostle who just went onto the stock market and instantly got $1 billion. Let's find his name. LDS apostle stock investment makes it. It's in the Google search. Gary E. Stevenson. Dear God, guy. Get the hell off my channel with your denialism. Should have been flagged by the YouTube Mormon employee because he's not working right now. Or is he? I think he's working right now. It's the one who puts the thumbs down on every video who's in a meeting right now, I guess. And so his other rant. Do you even listen to yourself? Yeah, I have to, because I have to trigger the algorithms. But they've caught on to it and have denied my counting in the view count and in my likes to trigger the algorithm. They've purposely shut me down on that. Which, something else is triggering it now. But it is a battle with YouTube and their cyber terrorism against me. Or look at yourself in your own videos. Really? You're now going to a character assassination attack. Ad hominem. We just had that the other day, didn't we? It appears as if you have no self-awareness. You have a nervous laugh. Nervous? No. I'm not nervous at all. Even though I know you want to murder me, as I see that you have the wrong religious symbol as a Mormon. So yeah, I'm not going to read over the rest of it. Oh. He talks about Roe v. Wade. Hold on, we'll cover that. So explain how your arguments are deductively sound and logical. Let's start with your argument that you say Mormons believe Trump will lead them. Senator Mike Lee has already endorsed Trump. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints endorses presidents through their representatives in Congress, telling them what to do for the laws. Mike Lee is being obedient. So the church has endorsed Trump. Council for National Policy, guys. Next, explain how overturning Roe v. Wade eliminated women's rights. I shouldn't have to every single time. 14th Amendment, Section 1. Do you not understand the definition of born? Then explain where in the U.S. Constitution enumerates the rights of women to terminate the life of an unborn child. 14th Amendment, Section 1. He's purposely leaving out rape. He wants to rape you, women. And you're still a Mormon? The reason Roe v. Wade was created, well, this ought to be good, it was after the Civil War. Well, Roe v. Wade, no. That was the 70s, wasn't it? But the 14th Amendment, Section 1, was after the Civil War. I'm hearing about it in the news because everybody wants to talk about Section 3, ignoring Section 1. And so, yes, everybody's eyes are on the Supreme Court now, and I told you to watch. It's coming, and here it is. Remember, the church put them in for this reason. Pay attention. This is historical. But, yeah, they're talking about the right to privacy implied, the right to terminate the life of an unborn child, whereas the new makeup of the U.S. Supreme Court came to the conclusion that the right to privacy does not include the right to terminate the life of an unborn child. Sorry, 14th Amendment, Section 1 overrules the Supreme Court. They are oath-bound to obey the Constitution. They are not oath-bound to violate the Constitution. That is an act of seditious conspiracy, which the punishment is supposed to be death. And yet, it's being decided by them now as to whether or not a president can continue, as he has been, without being punished for his insurrection. And can continue to run in office, as everybody is. So, dear God, ignorance leads to hate, hate leads to violence. And so then, yeah, there's David Price, who, for some reason, on the same video, all of these, the other guy too, can't believe I spent almost 20 minutes listening to this. Why didn't you just go to another video? Instead, you spent your time making a comment while I'm still talking, I guess, and it's all I could take. You are truly a happy idiot, and YouTube didn't flag this because he put best wishes, bleep you. David Price, anti-Semite. He has no he didn't explain what was wrong with my video. And he's calling me the idiot, and that's the beam of the moat, and thus, who's the idiot? And so here we go to an ignorant person who's on my basketball court. Get the hell off my court. You were lied to, and now you're trying to own me. And so, again, same video. And I talk about in there that the Latin Vulgate was created first. At the end of the 300 CE. To put in Lucifer and Isaiah. The Septuagint was not created until 400 CE. Which was really close together. And yet, he's saying that he's heard that the Septuagint dates from 300 to 100 BCE? No, dude. 300 BCE to 100 CE. You're wrong. They're wrong. The individual books within the Septuagint, yes, 300 BCE to 100 CE. We've got them in the Dead Sea Scrolls, but they're not a book called the Septuagint. The people who made the Septuagint in 400 CE says that it's from the previous one from that time period that does not exist. And said that there were 72 Septuagint? 72? You don't know Greek, do you? Septuagint means 70, not 72. So 72 men separately worked on the Septuagint, and they all found out that they were all doing it separately, and they all got together and compared, and it's exactly the same. Even the choosing of which books to put in. It's just, people don't think. Think you're gonna own me in my own field, are you? Get the hell out of here. Take your stupidity and go home. An error like this makes it look like you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right about you, beam and mode. And I'm not sure about you, Pekiorek Kenneth. So I'm guessing Kenneth Pekiorek. I'm not sure. He's apparently a known subscriber, and it's on my LDS Mission Stories. And he's contradicting me. So I'm not sure if it's sarcasm or what. He says, oh, it's not going to be an apocalypse or the second coming, like they said. Just justice and its beginning. Well, whose justice? The church has already paid the Judas price. The church has been orchestrating all of it. Council of National Policy. You're not paying attention. And so justice, yeah, sure, Purim. That's what I'm hoping for. Is that the church, by being in charge of all this, will fall into their own trap. But we're going right to the end of the line here. I don't like it when they do that. And so, whoops. Let's see how many child faiths we can accomplish here. As I'm going to take the time while you sit and watch. So this is the halftime show. Don't get your popcorn and your Mountain Dew. Sorry, no elevator music. You have the music of the washer and dryer. Those who didn't want to watch are not watching anyway. But, wow, 3 days ago, huh? Yeah, yes he did. And so I hope Child Faith understands that I'm trying to catch up to you. Because I noticed some new stuff this morning as well. It's on SNL Trump, still triggered by Mormon critic Travis Wayne Goodsell with Taylor Swift. Hilarious. Alright, we're back. Raise the curtain. And so at 36:01, thank you for doing that, because I don't memorize what I say. And so this will help me if I don't understand what you're talking about. I can refer to my actual wording as a result. Wait. So, in case you didn't know, Child Faith just came to the enlightenment that the church isn't true. Wait, so the actual Christ sued the church in 2020? Yes. The Jewish learning Christ of Mormons is a human being from Brigham Young's church. He was prophesied, predicted in the future to be the great and abominable church before Brigham Young even joined. And critics who leave the church cannot accept this. Except they accept that Brigham Young and the current church is false, but they have to take down Joseph with them, and they can't have Joseph being a literally correct prophet. The Book of Mormon being true? No, it's got to be false. Plagiarism. So yeah, Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are legit. And neither side wants to acknowledge it. So yes, according to the prophecy, Moses sued in Pharaoh's court. And Pharaoh said no, and increased the burden on Mormons. 2020. What did you think creeping death was that year? What did you think the drought in Utah that caused the dry land to appear for Mormons to go walking through to Zion, and they stayed with Pharaoh to be murdered? Didn't even bother to put the lamb's blood on their doorposts. That's why John the Revelator in chapter 19 talks about the lamb, is referring to the Exodus story account of the Exodus. This is it. And thus the Book of Mormon. There are only two churches, Mormons, Brigham Young's and Joseph Smith's. Joseph Smith's is the Church of the Lamb, and Latter-day Christ is a Mormon from Brigham Young's church to rescue Mormons out of bondage of Brigham Young's church, and he's thus the Lamb. Church of the Lamb. So yeah, it all happened. Except they failed. The election was supposed to trigger the destruction of America, and they failed. And so 4 years later, here they go again. The exact same pattern. It's just that the Exodus stuff already happened in 2020, but their part of overthrowing the government failed. But now here we go again, and we already know the election will be a shambles. We already have states seceding from the nation unofficially. They're rebelling against the federal government. We're doing what we want to do and bleep you for what you're trying to get us to do to be United States. So Texas is the big thing in the news. And now the advocates of the deep state Dem progressives in Utah are complaining about Cox and his statements, having gone to the big secret meeting of GOP MAGAs in Texas over the past weekend. No duh! Cox is a member of the Danites. He's the fourth great grandson, because he's younger, fourth great grandson of one of the Danites that murdered Joseph Smith and overthrew his church. Thank you, Nelson, for revealing the names. Oh, whoops. We had another one that I was supposed to do in first instead of this one. Yeah, did the Exodus happen? Yeah. But the Exodus itself did not happen. The events of the Exodus have happened and are happening. But the actual Exodus has not happened. And they have to redo it again because they failed to destroy the government. 3 Nephi chapter 7 tells us that they were supposed to destroy the federal government. And apparently Mike Pence was supposed to be the chief judge in 3 Nephi 7 who was supposed to be assassinated. Oh. Although, what's her name? It had a movie about her too, which was an excellent movie. And she's Jewish, and she died on a Jewish holy day. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She also died. And so, yeah, I was concerned because the timing of her death coincides with the prophecies that are having occurred in 3 Nephi chapter 7. And so that concerned me as to whether or not she was actually murdered rather than just died of old age because she refused to leave and allow Obama to put in his own candidate, even though we already know what would have happened. Trump would have had the replacement put in at the beginning of his term, because the MAGAs would have prevented any of the candidates of Obama, just like Garland was. And so then Biden puts in Garland, and we all know why, and yet he failed. Everybody's failing to save America and return things. And so, yeah, they're all in on it together. It's the false dichotomy argument, tricking us. It's a psychological manipulation to get us to be on one side or the other and play on your emotions as to getting you all stressed and riled up to cause the Civil War. And they failed in 2020 with January 6th. They failed. And so this time, yeah, that's why we're going through all this. This is why they waited 4 bleeping years for Trump's trials. It needed to be done immediately, and they waited. Right for the election. They're playing us. And so, yeah, it's all in real time from the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith and the Bible. They're all talking about everything that's going on. It's real. And I'm the one that's bad? So, let's go back to the first one. Maybe we can cover all of, well, maybe not. You do quite a number of them here from this one video, SNL Trump. His first one was, wow, this is gold. The Book of Mormon and Bible now have so much power rather than being books of pseudo-history. They are books of prophecy. Yeah. They are legitimate prophetic books. It's not about Jesus that Christians created it as. It's about the latter days. It's about Mormons. Actually applicable to the reader. Yes, indeed. And who parted the waters in Utah? Obviously, the Christ did. In 2020, the drought was such that I was talking about the parting of the waters from the Book of Moses, and I was trying to get Mormons' attention to say, hey, if the big event happens, survivors meet at the off-ramp at the Green River off-ramp. There's a little trading post thing there. It's a store type thing for people to stop before heading off down the 70 to go directly to Zion. And so I said, everybody, this is our pre-plan, and it's still in effect because it hasn't happened yet. So again, the call out for those listening, if it happens in 2 months to the day and you survive, head down that way to that location. I'll eventually get there if I survive. Don't leave without me. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't have transportation. But yeah, and so after this, I was accused of being a false prophet. And then the news, local news, I think it was Fox 13 News Utah, came out with an article saying that the Green River has dried up. I had the pictures and all that stuff for you. Hilarious. It was awesome. But nobody went. And they failed. MAGA failed to cause the destruction. MAGA are the kingmen in the Book of Mormon, by the way, in case you didn't know. Because they want to put Trump in as king. And we all knew this. You know, the Time magazine had Trump on his throne with his crown looking in the mirror. And there were all sorts of political cartoons of evangelicals bowing to the statue god of Trump. And Trump coming out and saying, "I'm the chosen one." And so, yeah, it's all happening as prophesied. And so there's more to this, but this is a basic 101 for you. So just understand there's historical context on 9/11/1826 in Canandaigua, New York, where Joseph Smith Sr. was the Master Mason. That is the birthplace of the Book of Mormon. And there's more to that story. But yeah, everything is happening exactly as prophesied because of what happened in 9/11/1826 in Canandaigua, New York with Joseph Smith Sr. And so, yeah, that happened. And so this year is their second attempt. This year, we've got the final day when Jesus is coming. And it's weird. They knew the date of Revelation 12. They made t-shirts. I bought a t-shirt and I done the pictures with it. And it happened, just not according to Christians. And so none of them have been doing t-shirts for these others. Only me. I'm the only one talking about it. And nobody believes, nobody cares. Alrighty. Now, 37-50 minutes. So Jesus, the protagonist, the Christ, the Mormon Christ, the type and shadow of him, or an antichrist, is coming on 8 April. 8 April is Revelation 19. It's the day that shall burn as an oven. It is the end of the latter days and the start of the millennium. And I did the calendar videos of the Egyptian calendar that I had finally gotten a hold of and is no longer available on Amazon. It was made available just for me to buy, and now it's gone. And the Jewish calendar ends on that very same day. People know with their prophecies. And so it's the Antichrist is the false prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, whose actual baby name meaning is Lucifer. Russell Red Marion, star of the sea. Mars, the husband of Venus, the symbol of the inverted pentagram of Lucifer. And so, everything precisely predicted, prophesied, and revelation of exact days and hours. Those Jews which got it from the Egyptians were incredible. And once you understand that bombshell, then you go to Joseph Smith Sr., who had to rewrite the 116 pages, and his stuff also is incredible. Joseph Smith Sr. is the man, dear God. Step it down, Nelson. Give the church and the money to the real Christ, as you say you're going to do. And so, he already came 23rd September 2017 from Revelation 12. And has been trying to get Mormons to free from the great and abominable church and go to Zion to build it. But everybody failed in 2020. And so here we go again. But this time, nukes are threatened to fall again. So, yeah, the Antichrist is the one who reigns supreme right now. And so you can go back to all those Christian videos about Left Behind and just put Nelson in place of the Antichrist. You're going to have problems with Jesus because Jesus isn't real, so he doesn't make an appearance. Dear God. Then you say, I got a hold of the book, The Way to Perfection. Yep. Lucifer hands the keys to the Christ. Where is it, Nelson? Hand it over. Hand over the keys and the money. Mormons are dying. They need to be rescued. By looking at your bookmark, I am reading the second half to know how all these events will unfold. If you can also give me the chapters and pages, I'll be sure to pay extra attention to the details while reading. 290, 291, assuming it's the same edition. And you can find it in the beginning chapter titles page. This was the death threat that was sent to me by the church. And so it's the bookmark for that page in the book. Because this is what I had then found after, or actually, I found this after this. I found the Council for National Policy before the October conference in 2021. And after conference weekend, I then found this book finally. And then the church said, oh, okay, that's enough. We've had it with you. And so, yeah, by voice of the priesthood is the actual setting, the section. Page 290 and 291. Lucifer, or let's see, transfer of authority of government from the usurper and impostor Lucifer to the rightful king. And they say Jesus, but he's not real. That's the great and abominable church's Christ. But Lucifer's the great and abominable church's Christ. So what? 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 And so, yeah. Thank you for the warnings and research. This is sweet. 38 minutes in. 40 minutes, 15 seconds in. Now, this is the best answer you could have given me personally. Okay? You're welcome. If you don't mind sharing, what did the church do to you and why? Well, it depends on when, in order to answer what. But why? Yeah. It's plain and simple. I expose the church as a fraud, generally speaking. But again, I refer you to Revelation chapter 12 and what the church intends to do with that poor, sweet, little, innocent baby. Is it in this corner or in this corner? One of the corners. That's your Christ, Mormons. Revelation chapter 12. The man-child. So yeah, it would be a long thing. And I've got documents and receipts. And there's history and court filings. You know. Scandals, attempted murders, torture. Okay, so that's all from that video. LDS Trump. So we can stop there at 1 hour. Perfect.